Hello, this is Kermit the Frog, and I'd like to talk about Mitt Romney's comments about my good friends that live in a special place we call Sesame Street. I was appalled when I heard Mr. Romney say that he'd get rid of our community during last night's debate, but not really shocked when I really sat down and thought about the kinds of people that actually live on Sesame Street. Of course Romney isn't a fan of ours. I mean, look who lives in the neighborhood. First of all, we got a grumpy green monster who lives in a trash can. You know why he lives in a trash can? He signed one of those balloon mortgages with Freddie Mac and he couldn't pay it off. When the housing market collapsed, he lost everything. What does Romney know about loss? That guy's uber rich. You know what we used to call Oscar? Oscar the Unselfish. You know why he's so grouchy? Because he lives in a trash can. Romney doesn't care about the homeless. He can barely bring himself to care about the middle class. And then there's Grover. Grover can't hold down a job. He's been on and off welfare for years while in between his stints as the world's worst insert every job you can think of here. He can't help it. He's got no education. You think he's smart enough to do his own taxes? He can't even remember what Mr. Johnson ordered to drink at Charlie's restaurant. That guy may as well have 47% tattooed on his forehead. For a long time, Big Bird was always talking about a snuffleupagus that only he could see. We thought it was just a residual effect of the mass LSD trips he took while he was in Nam. Then we found out Snuffy was a real person. So now we got a giant woolly mammoth that we hope is just on marijuana, but he's probably blasted out of his mind on black tar heroin. I don't know. He says he goes to something called Snufflegarten. But I mean, have you talked to that guy? He's definitely taking the short bus to whatever school the slow kids are going to these days. He needs help. More help than most. He needs more guidance and time to learn than other folks. To reach peak potential, he needs the care of teachers and fellow students because he can't get that type of support at home. And Mitt will probably cut most of the funds allocated by Obama to help after-school programs in inner cities. Snuffy will go from learning social skills right back to chasing the dragon. He can't help it. It was how he was brought up and it's all he knows. If we don't help support him now, he'll just end up being a burden on society when he gets sent to prison for selling speedballs to the Teletubbies. Either way, we're gonna pay for it in some form or another. Let's get this guy help while he's young so he can grow up and be a responsible drug-free member of society. And then there's Elmo, who's bright red and is always looking to help other people. So obviously he's probably a communist sympathizer. The guy never talks in first person. He probably has the only job that Mitt will want to ship back over to China. Mitt seems to hate China more every day. And Elmo is for toddlers. His act is only going to reach half the toddler population in China. I mean, they throw all their girl babies down wells. His spiel will never fly in Beijing. Of course, we have Cookie Monster. Now, Cookie Monster is OCD, and have you seen that googly-eyed bastard lately? The poster child for diabetes. And he's definitely got some sort of eye Parkinson's going on. He'll never be able to afford the medical bills that are coming his way. What's gonna happen to him when Romney repeals Obamacare on his first day in office? He's gonna get lost on his way to pick up his insulin and starve to death in front of a Mrs. Fields bakery. And then there's Bert and Ernie. Seriously, do we even have to go into that? The only person that'll probably vote for Mitt Romney is the Count. And what do you expect from a guy that likes counting money, lives in a castle, and wears a monocle everywhere he goes? I heard a rumor Romney, the Monopoly guy, the Count, and the man on the New Yorker cover have a monocle fight club where they go down to Brooklyn and kick the shit out of any hipster wearing a Che Guevara shirt. Hey, you know what they say? In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. But the first rule of Monocle Fight Club is we don't talk about the king. So we'll never know for sure. Look, I'm not saying Sesame Street is perfect, but we do what we can and we just try to get by. If Mr. Romney wants to get rid of us, that's his business. But I'd like to point out that just because the government gives us a little help on the side, that doesn't make us any less important and it doesn't make us any less American. America was based on helping your fellow man in the pursuit of happiness and knowledge. So that's what we try and do here on Sesame Street. And if Mitt Romney can't see that, well, then he may know about what it takes to become prosperous in America, but he's got a lot to learn about being an American. I'd like to thank my friend Indrunklopedia for helping me get my message out. You should go follow him on Twitter. I'd also like to thank Jim Lair for completely dropping the ball when Mitt told him that he was basically going to fire him if he got elected to office. Way to stand your ground and do nothing, Jim. And thank you, dear listener. Whether you are Democrat or Republican, the president is supposed to be working for you. And no matter who is elected president, we have always strived to be the best people we can be. And that is what we'll continue to do here at Sesame Street. We'll keep teaching your kids and future generations that it's okay to spell, to count, to be different, and to find common ground in our differences. We'll teach them that the color of your felt doesn't make you different. It makes you unique. And it's okay to need a little help from time to time because there are good people all around you to pick you up when you've fallen down. And that's the America our community strives for. So my fellow Americans, can you tell me? Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Seriously, I can't find it. The iPhone 5's map system is completely fucked up. Bye, everybody.